Well, E3 has finally died after years of being keely-hauled. Now Captain Jeff steers the ship, along with his press gang. His lounge lizard jacket is made from surreptitiously collected skin samples from all the executives he's rubbed shoulders with. Oh, let it die. You're parading around my wife's corpse in naff homemade cosplay. You've grave robbed her jewellery and are trying to sell it back to me. Just admit you have no vision for it and let this series be at rest. This isn't even the multi-botched development hell remake. This is
a modern take on the legendary franchise.
Which means he has a modern haircut now and a hip-hop soundtrack.
What's coming next?
No!
You've nailed it, guys. This is what Prince of Persia was missing. Not better writers or well-realised characters, just some of those rap beats all the kids are into. By Josnez. I don't think the word reboot means anything in Mortal Kombat anymore. Then again, neither does plot, mortality, or logical progression of numbers. I hope Ed Boon knows that he's not getting the numbers he wants, and calling it Mortal Kombat 1 just ensures it's going to be known forever as MK12 or 2023, because things with the same name are confusing and annoying.
I'm sure you have many questions.
Actually, Jeff, I don't have any. Nicolas Cage's kids are really into Dead by Daylight, so he said, I'm going to get into it too, because...
It's like a bonding experience. It's a bit like...
Anyway, it was a terrible misunderstanding. He hasn't bonded with his children at all, but he is now actually in the game. When has cameo culture gone too far? Hopefully it's not before you get Cage on stage being weird and endearing.
I want you to know that you're with me, that we're one, that we're fused. It's what, excuse me, what I noticed. Excuse me.
He may also have COVID. If you kill Nicolas Cage, Jeff, we'll never forgive you. An awkward posthumous trailer for the cursed Netflix Witcher show, despite Henry Cavill wisely fucking off from the rancid cadaver. I guess he was contractually obliged to come back and do promo in the morgue. Point Blank Tactics Force. Sorry. Intercept Extraction Unit, Elite Ops Iron Sights, SWAT Team Kill Division, Surgeon's Enemy Line, Riot Operation Dead, Target Lock, Guns Military, Hoorah Hoo-Ha, Crossfire Sierra Squad is some generic Jingo shooter VR bollocks that could only be more forgettable if it's followed by a random Samsung advert. Jeff wants me to react on TikTok, well I'm barely reacting on YouTube, so tough titties. Sonic's hoping if they keep going back and forth between the retro and modern era they'll work out what the fuck went wrong. Honky Stonk Rail is the most anime cringe I've seen since the last Xenoblades trailer.
This is bad, Noah.
But apparently it's less of a predatory microtransaction gamble cunt than the last pervasive Chinese cocaine brand, so I guess we're calling that progress. Throne of Liberty is just what Londoners call finding a public toilet you don't have to pay for. From Amazon Games, ew. No thanks, I'll hold it until I get home. Wait, it's called Throne and Liberty? Oh, now that joke doesn't work at all. I'll just have to think of an equally funny joke around Throne and Liberty and use that in... Party Animals looks like fursuit gang beasts, but they couldn't call it that because of the damage you'd take putting that into Google. Apparently just showing streamers laughing at it is supposed to sell you on it. Imagine listening to anything a streamer has to say. Sam Lake has cured Finland and he's arrived to upstage Jeff's suit. He's given really menacing entrance music, but the guy sounds on the verge of tears.
Thank you, thank you. Our title character, of course, turns into a nightmare.
I'm moderately interested in this series, but it having no physical release is just Alan Wank too. Left 4 Dead, but with a truck, and somehow John Carpenter's involved.
You guys think any of those zombies made it?
That's not a nice way to talk about the developers, Jeff. Baldur's Gash is actually no, I'm not, just forget this bit. Insomniac by name and Insomniac by wardrobe, this man rolled out of bed to talk about the Spiddlemen.
I mean, it has 2 on the box for a reason, because this game features 2 Spider-Men, so we're really excited about it.
Absolutely.
I mean, 2 Spider-Mens.
Wow, okay. So tell us a bit about...
It has 2 on the box.
Yeah.
2 Spider-Mens.
Okay.
You know, Jeff, we're really excited about it.
Yeah. But Venom also, obviously, you know, Symbiote is a part of this whole...
Jeff. 2 Spider-Mens. double. You know, Jeff has 2 on the box for a reason because...
Awesome. Well, Brian, thanks so much for
Thank you very
stopping
much.
by. I know you got a lot of work to do. Wrapping up the game, and we'll check it out in October. Thanks, Brian.
Pokemon Sweatshop lets you put barely sentient sheep behind high-powered gun turrets, and frankly, if that's not a winning elevator pitch, you must have taken the stairs. The only reason Nintendo's lawyers haven't reached them yet is that every monster is inspired by one of the real-life, heavily armed dev team. No kids, we have Ganondorf at home. The long-awaited Gollum DLC lets you kneel down as a dwarf, which seems almost redundant. More borderline subliminal messaging flashing the word Samsung at you 15 times within as many seconds. Final Nantual Ever Crisis is coming for your phones, and more importantly, your saved card details.
Speaking of Final Fantasy... No. Today during Summer Game Fest, DoorDash has your back. You can get a free burrito when you order from Taco Bell using the code GameFest. Plus, get the chance to win a Final Fantasy 16 prize pack. DoorDash, stay in your game.
After this, Keighley stormed backstage, backhanded his scriptwriter before putting their head through the teleprompter. He then politely asked them to leave the building. Kiryu now has magic ghost whips, which is new, but he still beats up smug businessmen in colourful suits, which is not. It's also possibly the most unwieldy game title I've ever seen. Call of Duty gets its own trailer just for new levels apparently. We're also just blasting the words free to play on screen like that's a selling point and not as shameful as declaring I fiddle with pigeons.
All right, next, let's celebrate 9/11 today or next week at some point. And we all like 9/11, right? All right. Now, please welcome Ben Brode, Chief Development Officer and flannel enthusiast at Second Dinner, the developers behind the popular collectible card game Marvel Snap.
Just because he's wearing flannel doesn't make him a flannel enthusiast, Jeff. Come on, that's
Certainly, yeah. I'm excited to announce Marvel Snap's biggest update.
Well, he's certainly an enthusiast. Maybe there was an unheard comma in there. Flannel enthusiast and human megaphone Ben Brode.
Steve, seriously, you don't stand a chance.
Fake co-op laughter by fake humans has me fake interested in Stellaris and really interested in suffocating in the silent vacuum of space. A sleep-deprived Will Arnett appeared via Bubbly Zoom to introduce Twisted Metal's live-action series. I've never played the games, but if I wanted to watch Anthony Mackie pinned down by another man in an uncomfortable gaming situation, I'd rewatch Black Mirror. Immortals of Avum is sadly not a mythological Cockney brawler. Instead, Anthrax's sister Sandrax is doing bad things to these sci-fi people.
You're what's called a triarch. The Pentasod has gifted you with the ability to manifest all 3 colors of magic.
They even brought the actor on stage for this largely first-person action game.
Sigilon.
I hope they're not expecting that to catch on. Transformers is the latest franchise assimilated into the Borg Knight Cube, and that deserves its own visual eulogy, apparently. And we end with Final Fantasy VII 2. So, 9.
It's barely hanging on.
Do you mean the purse strings for this game's budget, or just your face? You can see in his eager little eyes that Jeff is desperate for his house party to make him the coolest kid in school now, but it ain't quite there yet. This scattershot of E3 shrapnel still feels a bit off. And not in the way that E3 has always been a bit off.